Hey everyone, welcome back to Chasing Moonlight Farm. Today we're going to do our first garden tour of summer 2022 and show you guys what's growing in our garden and what we have already harvested from our garden, and we're going to start right here in our backyard. Alright, this is our backyard area, or part of our backyard area. These two beds right here, we just harvested 240 pounds of potatoes. Red Pontiac potatoes were growing in these 3 by 30 foot beds. And if you didn't see that video, I'll link that below or at the end of the video so you can be sure and watch our harvesting of those potatoes. It was so much fun. The kids loved it. They had a ball. But yeah, we harvested potatoes and potatoes for days. So once those have been harvested, or now that those have been harvested, we're going to go ahead and put pumpkins in here. We don't plant our pumpkins till the 1st of July because we want them to stay good all through October and into November for decoration and for Halloween and all of that. If we grow them too early, then they're just going to rot. So we're going to start in July growing those pumpkins. And then over here, we're going to do a whole row of butternut squash and see how those do. There are meat birds over there. Anyway, and here we have watermelon. These are strawberry watermelon, and I think there's supposed to be moon and stars in here as well. But I'm not sure it germinated, so I may have stuck another strawberry. Like this little one is the strawberry I stuck in. That one did not germinate, so I had to replant. So it's coming up beautifully. But they've got a bunch of flowers, and they're looking lovely. There's some flowers under there. So we're excited. We have how many here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 watermelon plants, all looking wonderful. And this sweet little pumpkin that volunteered. We had pumpkins here last year, and this year we have got a couple of volunteers that we're just going to let them go since we're going to plant pumpkins here anyway. And so we've got a couple little ones over there, and then this larger one that already have little pumpkins on them. So that's exciting. So this is our backyard, and we're going to get a lot of food out of this area for this year. So you don't need a lot of space to grow a lot of food. So let's head over to the other garden. All right, here we are in our main garden area. This is just to the side of our house in our side yard. It's about, I want to say, maybe 50 by 60 foot or something like that. A 50 by 60 foot area. But this year we had a little bit of a hiccup back in December. I don't know if you've seen any of our other garden tour videos from last year, but this whole area had raised beds in it last year. Well, then in December we noticed all of this water standing, and then discovered this is where the drain tiles are for our sewer, and we were having leaks. So we pulled all those beds up. We didn't want to take the chance there was contaminated dirt or anything that our plants would grow in. So we moved those to the other end, just squeezed them in around, some in the back and a couple around the other side, and decided to just put a flower bed there. So we've got flowers there, and we've got these beautiful little Valentine sunflowers here. And there's Mr. B doing his job. Thanks, little friend. Isn't that the cutest? These are Valentines. They're supposedly dwarf sunflowers. They are about 4 foot tall right now, but they are just absolutely beautiful and will always have a place in our garden. They are just so pretty, so pretty. Very, very hardy. Really, really love them. We get a lot of wind. There's a river back behind. We just live off the James River. So when it gets to storming and the wind comes through, we always lose our sunflowers. But these little guys, the reason I got them was because they have such strong stalks and they're real short and stocky. So I'm hoping, well, so far, the wind has not even bothered them. They have done fantastic. And then in the main little flower area, you'll just have to excuse the weeds. We gave up weeding. It was just a nightmare. But a bunch of zinnias. These are Magellan. It's a mix of Zahara, Magellan, and then these are cherry bicolor. They are just so cute. These little pink ones are called cherry bicolor. And then I think these are more Magellans. Just a mix of colors and absolutely stunning. We love them. Now my idea was to plant bachelor buttons here, and they all died. Well, I started them from seed and I planted them here, and then they all died, which is pretty much my life story. But we've got a straw flower over there. The sun's kind of, let's go to the other side so there's not such a glare here and my shadows out of the way. But we got a straw flower here that's opening, and we've got a bunch of straw flower around here. And in the center, my idea was to do this bamboo teepee and have a short variety of sunflower growing up the middle so they would kind of be supported. And then they outgrew the teepee. So the teepee's under there somewhere. It just makes me laugh. But they have not, oh my, humongous bug. We're going to go the other way. No thank you. They have not bloomed yet, but the plants are just massive. Massive, massive. Looking for a bud. Yeah, maybe it's in there. But I did about, I don't know, 9 sunflowers right there. And some more straw flowers around the outside, so like a circular area around this. And I thought this would be so pretty. More bachelor buttons that died. More weeds, ignore that. And more zinnias. And then we have our standout there. That is a Queen Lime zinnia that accidentally was planted there. I thought it was one of the Zahara or Magellan mixes, but alas it was not. It's just a taller Queen Lime, so we left it. And everything just looks beautiful. This is great. A whole bunch of pollinators have been here and are here every day, enjoying this little setup, which is good for your garden. So beautiful and so weedy. These little white ones, aren't those beautiful with that pink center? This was the Zahara mix. Those will forever have a place in our garden as well. And these beautiful yellow ones, absolutely gorgeous. Okay, let's walk back up here to the front and we'll start with the veggies. All right, in this bed we had through the spring, this is where we had our lettuce, and it was a mix of all kinds of cut and come again lettuces. And actually I think we did a Rocky Top blend and Merlot. That will not stand up. And they did really well all the way, even through the hot month. We had some hot weeks in May and the 1st of June. We still had lettuce. It was doing great. But we finally just went ahead and picked it. It was getting bitter finally, but it did really, really well all spring there. So we had that, and now we've put cucumbers here. We did bush cucumbers recently, and I think that was it. But like 5 or 6, I think, bush cucumbers are in here. They're called bush pickle. I am overplanting cucumbers like crazy because cucumbers do not do well at all. And I don't know why, but we'll take a look at a few of those in a minute. This was our garlic bed, and I'll pop a picture here of our garlic haul. It was very small. It didn't do well. We got very small bulbs. It was our own garlic we planted, but I'm not quite sure why it didn't grow as big as I wanted it to, but we have garlic and that's okay. And now we have planted beans here. So these are the Royalty Purple Pod beans and some weeds. So they are coming up like gangbusters. And this bed was also planted in the spring with something else. This was one of our onion beds. We had onions here. We had onions in that bed, and we had onions in that 4x4 bed. And those have all been harvested, and I will also stick a little video clip here of us harvesting our onions and show you where we stored those. We probably harvested, I don't know, 150 onions. I mean, it was absolutely insane. And I have no idea what I'm going to do with them all other than chop and freeze and chop and freeze and chop and freeze until I die. So, and share. Excuse me, I'll probably share quite a few. But after the onions went in, we have beans, more beans, because just like the cucumbers, I'm doing everything I can to get the maximum harvest of beans this year because I've had problems with beans in the past, mostly pole beans. So most of my beans you'll see in this garden are bush beans because they just do better for me with diseases and things like that. And then on the fence here we have cucumbers. What are these? These are, hang on a second, National Pickling cucumbers. So I was hoping to make several jars of bread and butter pickles and dill pickles and have those in the fridge or can them. That one, see, looks a little, I don't know, makes me nervous. But, see, this is what I'm talking about. Why is that leaf dead? Why is that leaf dead? I do not know. Cucumbers and I do not, or I should say cucumbers and where I live do not get along. But I keep trying, and I'm just going to keep trying until I find a variety that grows for me and it works. Okay, in this bed again, like I said, we had onions. And now again, more beans. All kinds of beans. I have jade bush beans. I have, I think, Provider bush beans and the purple potted royalty bush beans. And I probably said that wrong, so don't Google that. And this little guy is a tomato. And I have no idea what variety it is, but I found it growing in one of my back sweet potato beds, or what was going to be sweet potatoes, that was just full of compost. So I don't know how he got there or where he came from, but I took him out and I planted him here with another row of friends, tomato friends, and we're excited to see what this little one is going to grow. And it did have a couple of flowers, but I picked them off because it's still so short and stocky. I want it to do a lot more growing before it flowers. And here we've got, let's see, this is a sun sugar, which is very similar to a sun gold. It's an orange cherry tomato, very, very sweet. We have not tried that variety, but we absolutely love the sun gold. So we're hoping this will be a really good variety for us as well. And then right in here is an ox heart. And there's an ox heart. Hey guys, how's it going? I've really struggled with blossom end rot this year already, and it's just kind of been a disaster and something I'm trying to battle and pull these plants, you know, out of death's doorway, or whatever you want to call it. And down here we have Boston pickling cucumbers, and I've got a nice fat one on there. Look at that. We'll just pick that one. It's way ready. Look at that. Fat little guy. But the problem is I don't have enough. There's another one back there. Oh, there's a couple more. Oh, yay. I guess I could get two. Let me pinch that off too. There's one. Two little cucumbers. Get a few more of those and we'll have enough for pickles. And then here is our tried and true sun gold that we absolutely love. And there's a bunch of fruit growing on it. Really doing really well. Doesn't have any problem with any diseases or anything. And I did plant a bachelor button here, and you know what? I've decided I hate bachelor buttons. That's what I've decided, because they're so floppy and they just lay there and they don't stand up and they get broken easily, and my brain wants to scream, stand up and quit being lazy. But they're pretty. All right. Now in this bed I've got, let's see, I've got some sage. I think this is just the broadleaf variety of sage growing here amongst the carrots. And on this end I've got some rosemary, and it just smells so good. So pretty. It's doing so well. Oh, it smells so good. These are new carota carrots. They're supposed to be a little bit shorter, fatter carrot. They're so heavily sown. I doubt if we'll get, many that are actually big. There's a tiny one down there. They're just not growing very big. And that's because I didn't thin them out. I have a hard time with detailed activities that take a lot of, I just have a hard time remembering to thin them out, so I just let them go. It's okay. It's food. Small, big, whatever. We'll take it. Here's one by itself. Oh, actually, this might be, see, I don't even see a carrot on that one. No, it's way down there. It's way down there. But we did pull one last night, and they were super sweet, and it tasted really good, so we're hopeful. Now this, I have no idea how to pronounce it, so I'm just gonna put the name of it here, right here at this clip, so you'll know where I got this. This is a Baker Creek cucumber. I think it's a slicing cucumber, but it has a bunch of flowers. Finally, it took forever for it to flower. See, there's some flowers, but I don't, oh, there's a cucumber. Oh my gosh, there it is, look. Oh, let me find you. Where are you at? There you are. There's a cucumber. So that's exciting. Probably some hidden down here. That's what happened. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, I had no idea it was putting on fruit yet. Oh my gosh, let me get this leaf out of the way. Look at that. That's big. That's a good 5 inches long. Oh my goodness. Keep growing, you're doing great. And there's another one. There's another one under there. Oh, this is so exciting. Finding little garden treasures, especially when you don't think there's anything in there. So excited. Oh wait, now where am I? I'm too excited about the cucumbers. This whole bed is strawberries. These are the Ozark Beauty variety. And we got no strawberries hardly because this was their first year. Just got the birds took a couple, but we got a couple bites here and there. But they're finished right now. I think they'll put on another show probably end of summer here. So maybe we'll get a few more strawberries then. Let's walk back here. Now all of these on this entire, I don't know what this is, 30 foot? No, maybe 30 feet row of tomatoes. These are all my paste tomatoes, and then Paul Robeson at the end. We have Italian heirloom and alpaca. The alpaca here are not, I don't know, you guys, they're not doing well. They started out well. I started these inside, and they transplanted beautifully. We had compost fresh. Well, it wasn't fresh, but you know what I mean. It was new compost, and we have it, covered with landscape fabric, so there's not a lot of weed pressure. There's some growing up through around the stems there, but in just the last probably 2 or 3 weeks, they've just started to look really bad. And some of them have a bunch of yellowing leaves, which that might be normal. That might be normal. Normal aging. I don't know. Some of them were veiny, like yellow with green veins, which I think is a magnesium deficiency. So they've been sprayed with copper fungicide, and they've been sprayed with rot stop, and they've been sprayed with what else? I just fed them, so they've had fish fertilizer. So I am just hoping they survive. All of the fruit that I have pulled off so far have had blossom end rot. Not even gonna lie. This one is fine. Thank you, Jesus. Let's check this one. This one's fine. Can you see that little guy? No blossom end right there. But I'm not kidding. 90% of this fruit in the last week I've pulled off. And they're small, what I've pulled off, but they all had blossom end rot. I've got some Italian heirlooms here. These are giant ox hearts. And these look pretty good. They're growing really tall. But again, with the blossom end rot, yep, see? So I'm spraying those with calcium in hopes that I can save some of these from getting it at all. You can't save them once they have it. Oops, I just pulled that off and it was just fine. Great. Awesome. So I keep trying and I keep trying and I keep trying. So more giant ox hearts here. And these little guys down here, I believe, are all Paul Robeson. Let me check. Yeah. And they're actually, they still have had the blossom end rot, but they look a little better. They look a little better than the Italian heirloom and the ox heart and the alpaca. They look pitiful down there. Poor little guys. Last year they did fine. You know how it goes. You try to replicate what you did last year, and it never works. It never works. So let's check our, we've got some Paul Robeson here. No blossom end rot, good. There's a big one back there. Please tell me it doesn't have blossom end rot. You see it? Oh, daggone leaves. There it is. Look at that beauty. Let me check underneath. It feels fine. It doesn't feel rotted underneath. So that is super cool. So let's hope they do well. And then right along this row are all my jet stars. I loved the jet stars last year. In fact, last year I thought all of my tomatoes are gonna die. So I need to go buy more tomato plants. So I bought tomato starts from our local nursery, and I bought Celebrity, and I bought Better Boy, and I bought, that might have been it, just a couple of hybrid varieties. And then I had my own jet stars here, and last year they did just absolutely phenomenal. This year they're struggling with blossom end rot, every single plant. And I think honestly it's because it's been so hot in June, and then it rained, and then it'll cool up, and then it'll get really hot again, and then it'll rain, and then it'll cool up, and then it'll get really hot, like 90s, 100 degrees, and they just struggle. So I'm doing my best to keep them sprayed with calcium, taking off this dead foliage. But yeah, this one right here is not, oh yeah, that one's fine. That one's fine. These are fine. I'm hoping maybe it was just the first flush of tomatoes for the season did that, and the next ones will be fine. They say with the calcium, it can be from they're not uptaking enough from the soil. So I'm trying to be consistent in watering and not overwater or underwater. Just be real mindful of that. But it's hard, y'all. It's hard to keep these plants alive. And yes, they're heavily planted. I get that. And I did that last year. I planted them 18 inches apart and they were fine. So I don't think that has anything to do with it. But this one's looking a little better. This is pretty sickly. I don't know. All the blossoms are just dry and falling off. And I think that's just heat, to be honest with you. And then this one is a yellow cherry, and I cannot for the life of me remember what it is, but it's having no issues at all and looks beautiful. Awesome. All right, back this way, another 4x12. If I didn't say this earlier, all of my raised beds are 4x12, except for the 4x4s up front. So here we've got a whole bed of sweet potatoes and more cucumbers. These are the silver slicers that Jess over at Roots and Refuge recommended. They're a white cucumber, but supposedly they're supposed to be really good for pickling and both pickling and slicing. So there's a little flower. So hopefully we'll see some little white cucumbers on those. They were pretty slow to start. They were kind of angry at me too, but they're doing okay. And over here, another bed of sweet potatoes, because why not? And we're a family of 10. We need a lot of sweet potatoes, so I'm not at all sorry about that. Here we've got, this is a total experiment, and it's probably gonna just bite me in the butt, but these are, what are they called? There's some sort of sweet muskmelon, sweet cantaloupe, but I can already tell they're really, really hard to train. Like, they don't want to go up, because this one's just the plants. It's just the way the plant is growing. He doesn't really want to grab hold. He wants to come this way into the sweet potato bed. So I'm trying really hard to get them trained up. And if we have to support the melons, we will. But I have never had success growing cantaloupe in the 3 years I've been gardening. So we're going to give it a shot, because why not? Grow all the things, right? Over here, another 4x12 bed. These are all bush beans. These are all Provider, and at the end, the Royalty Purple Potted Bush Bean. And they are just awesome. They do cook up green, but that's kind of a fun thing for your kiddos to watch, is to watch them turn green when you cook them. But they are delicious, and they all did pretty well. One thing we had an issue with this year was birds. And I know it's because we have pigs this spring. Sorry about that. We have pigs this spring, so the birds are always over in the pig pen eating the leftover food. And so when they're finished with that, they come over here and they try to get the beans. And so I hung, and this really worked, you guys, so try this. I hung silver tape all on the poles here, and I put it around the beds, because they took out quite a few of my young little seedlings when the beans were small, and I had to replant several. But the silver tape does deter them, and I had great success with that. So just something to note is just put silver tape on the 4 corners, and if you have a trellis, you can put it on top of that, and it works. More tomatoes here. I don't have a lot of tomatoes in the raised beds because I wanted the majority of our production to be a lot of production, so we did the outer belt around the garden in tomatoes. But this is a heirloom variety called Giant Crimson, and I think that's a cat-faced one. This is from M.I. Gardner. This is one of his heirloom seeds that he has been reviving. I was excited to get my hands on some of these plants. And there was some blossom end rot on a couple I noticed, but overall these plants look a lot healthier in the raised beds. So overall, well, see, there's one with blossom end rot, but that's an ox heart. But still, that's a tomato lost. It just makes me sad. It's a lot of hard work to grow all of these in your house, in kitchen, in your utility room, wherever you're starting seeds. I don't have a space for, and there's another one, I don't have a space for like a greenhouse, but yeah, it's just disheartening. So these have all been sprayed with rot stop, so I'm hoping that will bring them out. This is a Giant Crimson, and this is a Giant Crimson, and it looks like some of these Giant Crimson are having more cat facing. Could just be that it's the first blossoms tend to have a lot of cat facing on heirloom tomatoes, I think. So I'm gonna let that one go. It's not rotten or anything, but we'll just have to wait and see how that one turns out. And in between the tomatoes, I have more beans. These are jade bush beans, and they're putting on some tiny little beans. You see those? Oh, there we go. Hey, little beans. Hey, little babies. See, something's eating those. So I don't know if that's a bug or, a bird or something else. But look at those. Look at the size of those holes. Jeez Louise. So bush beans in between. All right, on this side, this bed is just a jungle. And again, not sad about it. We have here some Cocozelle zucchini. These zucchini are much hardier than the Black Beauty and the summer squash variety, the yellow summer squash that I'm growing. I'll go around the other side here so I can kind of show you more about the Cocozelle. But I am having some bug damage, it looks like. I don't know what that is. That stresses me. Let's pull off the dead leaves though. Oh, I can't get it. Anyway, these are Cocozelle zucchini, and they are striped green and so pretty. And I'm going to show you these down here. Those are the new ones I just planted. Zinnia. And these are the Cocozelle. They are huge, bushy zucchini plants. Let's see if I have any. I've picked quite a few. I've tried to keep them trimmed up, but honestly, I think trimming the branches actually, I don't know, I think it harms the plant. So I'm just unsure if pruning the undergrowth helps at all. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't see any. I think I've pulled all. Oh, there's a baby one under there. There's a little baby. See if I can get you guys in there to see its stripes. There it is. And they get about 12, 16 inches long, and they're supposed to be really good even at that size. But I have had hardly zero, I mean almost zero pressure of squash bugs. And I'll take you over to my other zucchini in a minute and you'll see the difference. But they're still mostly green. They're still producing lots of flowers. I haven't got a lot of fruit off of them. I don't know if there's an issue with pollination. Part of me thinks, okay, all the pollinators are in my flower bed and they're not coming over here because they're full. They've had dinner. They're full. They don't have room for dessert. But, oh, there's a big one. Look at that. Look at that. Let's pick that. It's so exciting to harvest while you're doing a garden tour. Nice. Look at that. And they're really good. I just saute them, or I'm actually gonna save some for zucchini bread. But these are just beautiful, and I just don't have the pressure of the squash bugs. So try Cocozelle. And where did I get these seeds? I'll have to look that up, and I'll put a link in the description below. But yeah, Cocozelle zucchini, man. Look at that. Uh-oh, I broke it. Nice. I want that focus. I think it's focusing on my hand. Look at that. Nice. Let's put that up here with the pickles. Real quick before I forget. I'm going to forget that I laid them here. I'm going to forget that I laid them there. You just wait and see. Because mom brain is a real thing, y'all. All right, and on the trellis here, I just stuck a red cherry. We had one red cherry tomato plant survive. My son likes the red cherry variety, so we are growing those for him. And she's doing beautifully with no disease. Go little cherries. Behind the Cocozelles here, we've got a 4x4 bed, and this is, I have some okra. So just 5 okra plants. No one likes okra in our family but me. So there is an okra plant over here with the Cocozelle. This one right here, but it's getting eaten by something. Well, I say there's no pressure, and then look what I find. Maybe they just haven't found these plants yet, right? But we'll just take care of those little eggs right now. Don't want to leave them. So yeah, an okra distraction, squirrel. I got an okra plant there. And over here is my bean trellis that my hubby made me to do my one spot of pole beans. And these are the Kentucky Blue, which are a blend of Kentucky Wonder and Blue Lake pole beans. And they have some lovely little beans growing, beautiful little flowers. And they are doing their job and climbing to the top. And we left one side of this open, and I did have, this was a nice little area. Now again, this is a 4x4 bed, so there's probably 3x3 space inside here, and I grew radishes in there, and that worked really well. And all of my, this is basil, this is, what is this, opal, dark opal, and it's all flowering. It flowered like the week we brought it out and transplanted it. It was just, it was hot, and I don't know. I just don't have success with basil. First year I had great basil results. Last year my basil died. This year I grew all of this from seed, and they're already flowering, and it really hasn't given me anything. But I'm leaving it there because it keeps the cats out of the bed. So that's another little note. If you need to keep cats out of your bed, you can put wire down, or you can plant like basil, or put an onion there. Spread some garlic, spread some lemon balm, anything strong citrus like that they don't like. And over here, I forgot I planted these, and these little guys might need some water. I don't know, something ate that one. Oh no, oh no, no. These were our Armenian cucumbers, which my daughter really loves. Okay, we're just gonna leave those in. Those look all right. Maybe I'll thin these out and take this one out. But this one looks good. These are Armenian. They're more of a melon. But we had peas here originally, and when I took all those out a couple of weeks ago, I put in some Armenian cucumbers. And really, you're probably only supposed to have 2 here, but I just double sowed it so that I would be sure to get enough that I could thin it out if I needed to. So I might stick a couple more there just in case these go by the wayside. We did have a lot of rain a couple of days ago, so maybe this is just not draining well and it's rotting the roots or something. I don't know. All right, this bed here is the main crop, I should say, of zucchini and summer squash. I have a yellow variety. I think I have a crook neck and a straight neck, and I have the black beauty. And I have 6 black beauties, and I've pulled about 10 black beauties off of all 6 combined. You know, the whole thing where, wow, I'm drowning in zucchini. What am I going to do with all this zucchini? Yep, nope, that does not happen with me. I pick like 1 every 5 days. I mean, it does not grow well, and the bugs are relentless. Relentless bugs, relentless. Let me see if I have, oh, I see, look at this. See, here's what I'm talking about. See that flower? Wait, let me find it. See that flower that's covered in those little gray and black? Those are all nymph squash bugs. Thousands of them probably. So I need to come in there with spinosad and kill those bugs. And I come and I pick eggs, and I pick eggs, and I pick eggs, and the eggs are just everywhere. And I don't get a lot. I don't get a lot of squash. And honestly, I mean, the leaves look okay. They don't look horrible. I don't know if it's a poor germination thing, as well as the squash bugs. I mean, what are the squash bugs doing right now? They're just laying eggs. I'm not sure, but sorry, we're gonna have a little egg squashing party right now. But there's more leaves. But there's more leaves coming out and more flowers. So hopefully, see, there's some over there. There's a squash over there that I'm pretty sure is dead because poor pollination. Yeah, these just look terrible. Usually I have vine borers too, but let's look under here. I don't really see the dust from vine borers, so I don't think I have vine borers this year. I just don't have a lot of squash. There's a couple, so let's hope those will grow. They need to get pollinated. I'm about to hand pollinate some. Look, there's even some more squash, so I'm hoping. Yellow squash is actually my favorite. It just reminds me of home when I was little. My mom used to fry yellow squash. There's a little baby crookneck. But yeah, I struggle just like everyone else. This, you know, we're in Southeast Virginia, and it's just so hot. And the squash bugs never go away. There's not a season of squash bugs where they do their mating thing, they lay their eggs and then they go away. No, they stay till November. They're perfectly happy to stay. They have nothing else to do but reproduce and drive me nuts. That's their job. Oh my gosh, look at that. Ugh, makes me so mad. No more zucchini, I see. Not yet. No more green zucchini. Oh, there's one. There's one. It feels kind of mushy. Oh, I think it's okay. All right, did we get everyone? Oh no, we didn't get this bed. This bed is all peppers, well, half peppers. And I have just a bunch of different varieties. I have jalapenos, I have Anaheim chilies, I have shishito, I have Jimmy Nardello, a couple of those. I have Emerald Giant bell peppers somewhere in here. And there were some banana peppers. What's this one? This is a shishito. Look at that little guy. Hello, I've never grown shishito. But again, Jess from Roots and Refuge taught me into that. Ooh, I've got some nice banana peppers back there. They're probably ready for harvest. Nice. I'll get those tomorrow. And these are, it's this one. This is a shishito as well. More shishitos on there. Craig's Grande is the brand of jalapeno we grow. I don't see any. I see a bunch of flowers. No chili peppers. Just a few flowers. And these can sometimes get blossom end rot too, and I've sprayed them as well. I didn't want them to get anything weird or wonky. Now they look really short for the end of June, but I did prune them back. Every time they would get tall and lanky, I would cut the top off so they would make them bush out. So these are going to take a while. They're just going to take a while. See, this one I should have probably cut back because it's getting tall and lanky, but these are Marconi Red, which turn into a really nice long, usually 6 or 7 inches, a couple inches wide. They're giant Marconi Red, and we love them stuffed, like a stuffed pepper. Now, which one's this? This is an Emerald Giant. Little baby Emerald Giant in there. Peekaboo. But yeah, these will take a while, so I'm not worried about it. I still have some peppers frozen from last year, chopped up peppers that we use on pizza and stuff. So no worries there. These are all supposed to be, there's 3 tomatoes here. These are all, oh no, see, this one looks a little sad. These are all Dead Sunset is what they're called. They're an orange variety, and they are the only orange tomato we are growing this year. Just as a slicer, probably I'll throw it in for salsa and pasta sauce and things like that if no one wants to eat them. But they're doing okay. They don't have as much blossom end rot as the others. And I've never grown these, and I didn't realize they grew like on a stem, like a long stem of them. Let me find the one I just looked at right here. Like a long stem of them. Focus. There we go. But there they are. So I don't know how big they're gonna get. Or maybe I'm crazy. Maybe those are some other variety. Huh, because these aren't on a stem. And there's a big one. Here's a big Dead Sunset, supposedly. I do this all the time, you guys. I mislabel things and then I have no idea what I'm getting. Oh, the fun of gardening. It's okay. It'll eat, right? It's a guessing game. And then here's my basil that is going to seed. It is flowering in June. Y'all, it's been flowering since the 1st of June. It has been so hot. The weather has been so odd. And my plants just don't know what to do. And I just keep coming out. Maybe that's not that abnormal. Maybe I'm just such a young gardener. I don't really know what I'm talking about. But some of these leaves look dead. That one's a nice, putting on nice new leaves. But I keep pulling the blooms. It just looks sad. You can tell it looks like it's been watered too much, like it's really light. So I don't know. I don't really water it that much because I know they don't really like a lot of water. these beautiful zinnias. I'm gonna pull this. Well, I said I was gonna pull it. Deadhead it. Okay, maybe not. I'll just leave you. You don't want to go. Aren't those beautiful? These are the Magellan mix again. They're glorious. Now, I did have some golden beets here. They did not, again, with me in the thinning. You guys, I can't do it. I just can't plant the teeny tiny seeds and then come out and try to pull teeny tiny plants. It just makes me want to cry. I just can't do it. So I'm not sure beets and I are gonna ever have a thing, but maybe I'll try again in the fall with those. We'll see. All right, is that it? Did I do everything I set out to do and tell you about? I think I did. Lots of food, hope for food in this garden. I know this is really pretty. Look at this. Y'all, my cats won't leave my beans alone, so I just keep laying stuff down so that they'll stay out of the beds and quit trying to use them as litter boxes. And they just, you know, it ends up looking like this until they grow, you know, big enough that the cats don't want to get in them. So these are probably big enough I can move these metal. This isn't my normal look for my garden. It's just, it was temporary until my seeds popped up and get large enough so the cats will leave them alone. But that's it, you guys. Oh, I forgot. This is my comfrey I started last year. It's got some beautiful little flowers. This is actually the second growth. I cut this way back a couple of weeks ago. That one I thought was dead. I cut it back so much because we are making some comfrey tea with that to use as fertilizer in case, you know, you hear things about fertilizer shortages but we're not gonna succumb to that. We're gonna make our own fertilizer, and this is super, super good for your garden. It's also healthy for your pigs and chickens to eat. It's a good protein source. I think you just need to be careful how much you use it as feed. It can't be their sole feed or anything, I don't think. So that's it, guys. That's my beautiful garden. I think, honestly, I was so sad this year about having to move my beds, and I was just determined that I was not gonna leave this area blank. You know, it needed to be filled. And I started hundreds of zinnias, and I got out here, and my daughters and I, and we just planted some beautiful flowers and gave the pollinators something yummy and this beautiful little sunflower hedge, and I couldn't be happier with the way it turned out. And that little bean trellis just adds so much character to the garden. I absolutely love it. It may not give me a bunch of beans, but it sure is beautiful sitting there in that bed. That's it. That's our first garden tour of summer 2022. I hope you enjoyed seeing what's growing in our garden, and I hope you'll stick around and just join us on our little tiny farm adventures as we harvest and deal with pests and deal with animals and process food and do all the things on our small farm